Hi there. It's Dr. Liz Jenkins with drlizcoaching.com and welcome to day 22 inside couples conflict. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you another real life example, talking about a regrettable event with redos and timeouts and how one couple was very, very successful in having interrupt one of these repetitive patterns. So for Linda and Steve, they repeatedly got into some big discussions over parenting their only son. Right. So you kind of get the idea there's a lot at stake. Both parents are focused on doing the right thing for their son. And as he got into high school age, the conflicts got more intense and more real for each of them because they were trying to struggle with how much freedom they gave him. Maybe you know what that's like. For myself, as a parent of two daughters, we really had some, valid concerns about them emerging into adulthood, which they did successfully. So it's all good. But we still had our fears and worries. So one football night, their son came to Linda and said, "Hey, I'm gonna ride with my friends to the game, and then from there we're gonna watch the game. But then we're gonna go grab pizza and then maybe spend the night at their other friend's house." Okay. Linda's like, "Sure, no problem, great. Just let your dad know. Busy, 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 distracted. You know how kids do that. They kind of get you when your guard's down." And so she said yes to all of the conditions without consulting Steve. Gone. Okay. Well, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Steve's chatting and interacting, and he asked Linda, "Hey, what's the plans for tonight?" And then all of a sudden she said, "Well, didn't Brian, their son, let you know he's just going to go to the game? He's riding with his friends, and then after game they're going to grab pizza. So he's going to use our card for that, and then he's doing a sleepover at another friend's house." Well, Steve literally lost his cookies on that one. He was mad in so many ways. All right, super mad. And so he started yelling and accusing and saying, no, he's not going anywhere now, and on and on and on. So big blow up. And Linda was also a fire person. Steve was a fire person, and Linda was a fire, and she ramped up pretty quickly too. All of the strategies, all of the skills kind of out the door in that moment where you can't tell me how to say yes or no to our son, and we can't back down now because it'd be embarrassing for him and people are counting on him. Luckily, they had their timeout, and Steve said, "Wait, timeout. I need to cool down." And they did. He called the timeout. They cooled down. They stopped the nasty phone calls because they were doing texting and phone calls, and both regrouped. And when they got back together again, he said, "We'll talk when I get home." She's fine. "We'll talk when I get home." So about 5:30 or so, they both roll in, and they did another great thing. They asked each other if now was a good time. They also gave each other a hug, said, "I love you. I'm really mad," or "I'm embarrassed," or whatever the emotion was in the moment. But they did a great job about reestablishing their respect and consideration and affection and love for each other. All right. And then they started off. They said, first of all, I said, "What are we fighting about?" Remember, we talked about we want to make sure that people are fighting about the same thing. Well, it comes to realize Steve was fighting about many things. First one was that he wasn't taken into consideration on the decision. Second thing, he was concerned about their son having too many places to go, and there was safety and danger type of thing. Linda was fighting about being questioned on her judgment or and parenting skills, pretty much her, and then fighting for her son's freedom and rights. So they really weren't on the same path. So when they realized that, they said, "Let's pick one," and they did. and pretty much was like, is it okay or not okay for their son to go out to football tonight? And then from there, they said, is it okay or not okay for him to then go with friends to pizza? And then, is it okay or not okay for him to do a sleepover? So they broke this fight down into manageable little bites. And each one talked about their feelings, okay, their concerns. So they put it into a complaint. They dropped the criticism. They dropped the judging. They dropped the explaining themselves, like, because Linda was really good at, all the other friends are doing it and it would be great for him and he's only child, so she stopped all of those. And Steve stopped his sarcasm and name calling. But the key was for both of those guys here is that they took a time out to get calmer. They remembered that they were supposed to decide what they were fighting about, and they came with each one's agenda, realized it was wrong, and then they showed up, breaking it down piece by piece by piece. And in that redo, what ended up happening was, it was fine. Actually, they dropped their son Brian off of the game, waved hi to the friends, watched a little bit of the game over in the adults kind of thing, and then they took off and finished off having their date night. And they had some stipulations, which I think is great. Their son gave them different touch points of where he was, and what they're expected to see for him to be at that friend's house to do for a sleepover, and when they would be coming and getting him in the morning, or he would be getting a ride back over. So they got the touch points. They identified each one's needs or concerns, each parent's needs or concerns. They met those, they talked about it, they smoothed it out, and they were able to have a very nice private date night. So isn't that like a success? I think that's a huge one. So let's go back and let's talk about this in the coming days, about how you can take a regrettable event, if it happens to you, even if you've had all of the skills and tools, and go back, apply them in under the guise of, we're going to have a redo, and we're going to do this the way we needed to do or wanted to do from the beginning. Right? So have a wonderful day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, and if you want, just DM me, because I have lots and lots of stuff to share with you around my Reignite couples program, which is one of the ones that Steve and Linda went through. So take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.